Life brings moments of ease, but also times when challenges strike unexpectedly. Have you ever wondered if one day everything you own, your wealth, your family, your health, suddenly disappeared? How would you react? Would you hold firm to your faith in God, or would you question Him for what has happened? Today, we will explore the story of a remarkable man, Job, a man who once had everything, lost it all, yet remained steadfast in his devotion to God. This is not just a story of suffering, but a testament to the power of faith, perseverance, and the trials that God allows for those He loves. Introducing the main character. Job was a righteous man, living with integrity and revering God. He possessed immense wealth, with thousands of livestock, numerous servants, and a loving family. He was respected by many, and most importantly, he remained faithful to God. But one day, Job's life changed completely. He lost everything in an instant. What happened next? Did God abandon Job? Let's delve into this powerful story. The trial of Job. 1. The conversation between God and Satan. In the heavenly realm, among countless angels, one being appeared before God. It was Satan, the one who sows doubt and tests the faith of mankind. God asked, "Where have you come from?" Satan replied, "I have been roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then God said, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him, blameless, upright, fearing God, and shunning evil." But Satan sneered, "Does Job fear you for nothing? Have you not blessed him and made his wealth flourish? But take everything away from him, and he will surely curse you to your face." God responded, "Very well, everything he has is in your hands, but you must not lay a hand on his life." And so the severe trial began. 2. Job loses all his possessions and children. One day, as Job was living peacefully in his home, a series of disastrous news struck like lightning from a clear sky. A servant ran in, gasping for breath. "Master, the Sabaeans attacked and took all the oxen and donkeys. They killed all your servants. I am the only one who escaped to tell you." Before Job could recover, another man rushed in. "Master, fire fell from the sky and burned up the sheep and the servants. Everything is gone." A third messenger arrived in haste. "The Chaldeans raided and stole all the camels. They slaughtered all your men." But the worst news was yet to come. A final servant, trembling and tearful, whispered, "Master, your children, they were feasting in the eldest brother's house. Suddenly, a great wind came from the desert. The house collapsed. No one survived." Job was stunned. His wealth was gone. His children were no more. He tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground. But instead of cursing, he uttered, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Even in his deepest sorrow, Job did not sin nor blame God with his words. 3. Job's physical affliction. Satan was not done. He once again came before God and said, "Skin for skin. A man will give all he has to save his own life. But if you stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, he will surely curse you to your face." God replied, "Very well, he is in your hands, but you must not take his life." And so Satan afflicted Job with a terrible disease, painful boils from head to toe. His skin festered, his body ached beyond description. No one dared to come near him. Job sat among the ashes, scraping his sores with a broken piece of pottery. His wife, unable to bear the sight of his suffering, said, "Why do you still hold on to your integrity? Curse God and die." But Job, his voice trembling, replied, "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" Despite his unbearable agony, Job remained steadfast. He did not sin, nor did he utter a single word against God. But was Job's trial over? Or would he soon face condemnation from his own friends? Stay tuned for the next part of this powerful story. Part 2. Friends come to comfort but end up condemning Job. Job sat among the ashes, his body covered in painful sores. He had nothing left, alone in his suffering. Then his 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, heard about his calamity. Without hesitation, they set out to visit him, hoping to comfort their grieving friend. But when they arrived, they were shocked. Job was no longer the wealthy, strong man they once knew. He was frail, his face sunken, his body covered in sores. Overcome with sorrow, they wept, tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads, a deep sign of mourning. They sat in silence with him for 7 days and 7 nights, saying nothing. But when Job finally spoke, a bitter argument began. 1. The accusations of his friends. Eliphaz was the first to speak. "Job, you used to instruct and strengthen others, but now that suffering has come upon you, you cannot endure it? Think carefully. Has any innocent person ever perished? God is just. If you are suffering, surely you have sinned." Bildad followed. "God never makes mistakes. If your children have died, perhaps they sinned. If you are truly upright, God will restore you. But first, examine yourself." Zophar was even harsher. "Job, do you claim to be innocent? But in reality, God is punishing you less than you deserve. Repent, and he will forgive you." Job's response. Job looked at them, his heart heavy with disappointment. "What kind of friends are you? I am in agony, yet instead of comforting me, you condemn me." He lamented, "I do not understand why God allows this suffering. But one thing I do know, I have not sinned. God knows my path. He is testing me, but I will come forth as pure gold." Yet no matter how he defended himself, his friends did not believe him. They continued their arguments, insisting that Job must have done something wrong. Otherwise, God would not have sent such calamity upon him. Job's story is not just a trial of physical suffering, but also of the soul. When even his closest friends doubted him, would Job still have the strength to hold on to his faith in God? And would God answer his cries? Stay tuned for the next part. Part 3. God answers and restores Job. After days of suffering and debate, at last, God appeared. He did not come in silence, but in a mighty whirlwind. From the storm, the Lord spoke to Job. "Who is this that darkens my counsel with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a warrior, for I will question you, and you shall answer me." With a voice full of power, God continued, "Job, where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Who set the boundaries of the sea, commanding the waves? This far you may come and no farther. Can you do this? Can you command the stars? Can you summon the lightning to strike where you direct? Answer me if you know." Job repents before God. At that moment, Job realized how small he was. He no longer dared to argue. He bowed down in dust and ashes and said, "Lord, now my eyes have seen you. Therefore I despise myself and repent in dust and ashes." Job no longer demanded an explanation, for he had understood one truth. God's plans are beyond human understanding. God rebukes Job's friends. But God did not stop there. He turned to Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, the friends who had wrongly accused Job. God declared, "I am angry with you because you have not spoken the truth about me, as my servant Job has. Take 7 bulls and 7 rams as an offering. Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer. Otherwise, I will punish you." Job's friends, terrified, did as God commanded. And just as promised, when Job prayed for them, God forgave them. God restores everything to Job. Then something miraculous happened. God blessed Job with twice as much as before. Before, Job had 7,000 sheep. Now, he had 14,000. Before, he had 3,000 camels. Now he had 6,000. Before, he had 500 yoke of oxen. Now he had 1,000. Before, he had 500 donkeys. Now he had 1,000. God also gave Job 7 more sons and 3 daughters. His daughters were said to be the most beautiful in all the land. Job lived 140 more years, seeing his children and grandchildren to the 4th generation. Finally, he passed away. From a man who lost everything, Job was tested by God, but also restored in glory. He did not just regain his wealth twofold, but more importantly, he gained a deeper understanding of God's greatness and mercy. The story of Job reminds us that no matter how great our trials may be, if we remain faithful, God will never abandon us. He has a greater plan, one that we may not yet fully comprehend. What are your thoughts on this story? Share your reflections in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful Bible stories. Part 4. Lessons from the story of Job. The story of Job is not just about suffering and trials. It is a powerful testament to faithfulness, unwavering belief, and the justice of God. From this story, we can draw 3 profound lessons. 1. True faith is revealed through trials. Faith is not just about trusting God when life is easy. Job feared God when he had everything, but more importantly, he remained faithful when he lost everything. Though he slay me, yet I will hope in him. Job 13, verse 15. When hardships come, do we continue to trust in God, or do we quickly lose faith and turn away from him? 2. We should not be quick to judge others in their suffering. Job's friends wrongly assumed that his suffering was a punishment for sin, but God rebuked them for speaking falsely about him. When we see someone struggling, instead of judging, let us comfort and pray for them. Trials are not always punishments. Sometimes they are God's way of refining and strengthening a person. 3. God's wisdom and plans surpass human understanding. Job did not understand his suffering, but in the end, God revealed his power and divine plan. I know that you can do all things. No purpose of yours can be thwarted. Job 42. We may not always see the reason behind our trials, but we can trust that God is working for a greater purpose, even if we cannot fully grasp it yet. Have you ever faced trials in life that you didn't understand? What helped you overcome them? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this story gave you insight and encouragement, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more meaningful Bible stories. Conclusion and call to action. The story of Job is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest moments, faith can be the guiding light. Job endured unimaginable suffering, yet he never lost his faithfulness to God. In the end, he was restored and blessed far beyond what he had before. Are you facing trials in your life? Remember, God has a greater plan for you, even if you can't see it yet. What part of Job's story touched your heart the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss more inspiring stories from the Bible. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video.